Hello, Libra. Thank you so much, as always, you guys, for being here. And a really big thank you to all of you who followed me here. I love you guys. All right, Libra. So before I get started, I just want to remind everybody that I read from Sun, Moon, and Rising, but feel free to use the message to wherever Libra is in your chart. And please make sure that you're only taking in the messages that resonate with you. All right, Libra. So this one was interesting. This time you pulled knowledge, victim, and I won't cry for you. I can't help but look at this and think, because we're talking about you pointing to your outer world in a way that it's preventing you from knowing something, and this whole I won't cry for you, it's like finally gaining some knowledge that may have been kept from you. Now, obviously, that's not going to be for all of you. But I can't help but feel that way, like, oh, so this is why you didn't want me to know this, right? Where you're immediately pointing to the outer world. And this is where it's no longer allowed to affect you, right? Now, the other part of this, though, is that for some of you, you may feel like your current circumstances may be preventing you from seeking out new knowledge or learning something new. But, in that case, victim is saying that that doesn't have to be the truth, right? That's just what you're accepting right now about your circumstances, that there is something outside of you that is preventing you from knowing something. But again, right, like I cannot look at this and not think, oh, that's what you were keeping, right? But getting away from that, what knowledge is really saying here is that you're being divinely guided to a new course of study. It's saying that books are going to be important right now. But I almost wonder if this isn't like, listen, Libra, you're going to have to go and learn some new things, pick up certain books that you're being guided to, whatever it may be, because it's that information and that knowledge that is going to release you from something that has kept you trapped and making you feel like you're a victim of circumstances that you can't control, right? So with victim, it talks about, how are my actions connected to my inability to create breakthroughs? Am I willing to make new choices in order to grow? It talks about feeling blocked, blaming others, past resentment, and I can't, right? Like, but again, knowledge, though, being divinely guided to the right course of study, the right information, the information that you need to break you out of this. And I swear to God, I don't know what it is this week, but freedom seems to be the big thing, because this is talking about it too. So I won't cry for you. It says sometimes when it's over, closure must be created and not just found. Meaning that your outside world, or that outside person, that outside situation that made you feel this way, will not give you the closure that you need. That's something that, you're going to have to find within you. And that may be where this knowledge is coming from, right? The sentence says, I gave you my last gift. I shed my last tear for you. It's a time not to let you free, but to let myself free. And it's talking about how breaking up can only be done between two people. So for some of you, yeah, it could be about, breaking a connection or a relationship that you have. But it's needing to break the habit of pointing the finger outward, because it'll keep you trapped in that. And all that's doing is the reinforcing the cycle to continue in the same way, right? Like the feedback loop. But I can't help but look at that and think, oh, okay, now I see. Now, this absolutely could be something spiritual too, though, where you're like, yeah, I'm not going to spend time, thinking about the painful things that may have happened, especially within a relationship, right? Like, I'm not going to do that anymore. It's not benefiting me. But pay attention. Like, so for me, it reminds me of even in like the hardest moments, one of my passions was always books, you know, going to the bookstore, going to the library, right? Pay attention to where you're being guided to as far as like new information. You know, if you have Audible, right? Like I've downloaded so many damn books. Just pay attention to the things that are popping up, because that may be, you know, the subconscious mind going, okay, you want to break from this, right? Here's what you need to know. Here's what you need to learn. Wow, man. Okay. The depth of the readings today has been quite the journey. Oh my God. Your overall judgment. This is, besides the wake-up call, the resurrection. This is where, when we're looking at the judgments that we've made based on the past, you're rising above that now and gaining full awareness. But this is also understanding how the past may have been preventing you from moving forward. Like, I'm feeling that coming off of judgment here, but this could be about something coming back up, right? Something being resurrected in your awareness right now. But it's going to require you to act in a way where you're looking at things differently. And I'm sorry, but that's the cutest damn judgment card I've ever seen. But this is big. This is really big. But it's meant to push you forward, right? So you're no longer repeating the pain of the past, right? With I won't cry for you. And in the past, you have the Chariot. And, you know, what I like about this, and we're talking about Cancer energy here, so we could be talking about, right, like last June, May, June, July, somewhere in that area. For some of you, you may have made a like really major move. But the Chariot, though, is really about the opposing forces and getting that to go in one direction. It's taking control over the direction that you're headed. This is the major victory, right? For some of you, you may have made a move and felt like there were two different directions that you wanted to take. And there's still like this need for you to get things under control so you know where you're actually headed. In the present, the Eight of Swords, being stuck, not being able to see a way through on a situation. And this is what I'm talking about, right? Like if you made a big move towards something, but you felt torn about it, it would make sense that in the present moment you would be feeling stuck. So there's a need to pull back on that Chariot energy and go, okay, right now I see what was directing me this way. Now can I get control over myself and where I'm going? Some of you may literally be like regretting a big move. And I only say that because we're talking about, you know, your thoughts keeping you stuck within this situation. But there's this like wake-up call that's going to be happening here. And your judgments about a situation may be called into question, or you needing to look at them differently. So future conditions, the Three of Pentacles, and this I like. This to me, like I love this one because it looks like, you know, you're working on the plans, right? But you're not alone. There are other people possibly working with you. That's where the collaboration comes in, right? What are you working on? What are you starting here? And for some of you, it could be needing to break yourself out of a situation that, you know, is not putting you in the direction that you intended for. You know, and this may be something new that you go ahead and start doing. You know, the problem is how is this helping you to become free of a situation that you feel confined by? You may have had like completely different judgments about this in the past, but there's going to be this change. The other thing with judgment is really about, you know, accepting that, okay, these are the paths that I followed. but it doesn't mean anything about you and, what other paths you can take. So I feel like there's this acceptance of the past as it is and where it's led you now, but understanding that now is the time to reassess this, right? Hearing the call, answering the call, making a different judgment. So this could definitely be about something that is coming back that you may have looked at before differently. And there may be an opportunity for you to move into a different situation where you're either working with somebody, a new job could be for some of you, right? Or a different perspective on something creative, a talent that you have. Because with the Three of Pentacles, right, we're showing off what we can do, and we're refining that so that the perfection of that can be found in the Eight of Pentacles, right? But what is it about this that helps you, get out of this kind of like, I'm stuck here, I can't see a way out type of feeling? Oh, well, yeah, okay. Your best path to follow, the Three of Swords. Every time I look at this one, I can't help but think of like, a locket that holds the memory, right? But we're looking at the memory of the painful thoughts that come with the heartbreak, the separation, right? And I won't cry for you. Absolutely, it makes sense. This, though, as your advice, because we're talking about the swords and we're talking about your thoughts, and again with the Eight of Swords, immediately for me, it's be aware of the thoughts that are created when you start looking at the heartbreak that you've experienced, because inevitably following that is going to be an emotional charge, right? And we're not repeating that history anymore with judgment. But, this may be an opportunity for you to look at, the things that have caused you pain in a very different way, where you can put it to your benefit here with the Three of Pentacles. So, here's what I'm feeling like. If we're going to look at this in a way that you can use practically and start building a skill around it, and potentially even something that you can make money off of, this could literally be about you using your experiences in such a way, once you look at it differently, to benefit you. Like, say you have experienced a lot of, trauma or difficulties within relationships, and, maybe you have gotten some really good advice from different teachers, therapists, whatever, right? That's valuable information that could help other people. That's how we connect with each other. But what I want to say here is, if a situation is coming back up because we're looking at I won't cry for you, this is where you can't focus on the pain that was caused. Accept the situation as it is, for what it is and what it was. And then rise above that. Put your focus in something else here. And if you have a new opportunity coming through, I don't care how stuck you feel. If something good is coming through that you have a skill and a talent for, right? As soon as that door opens, that doesn't matter anymore. This is the thing that you need to follow. And don't let the worry about separation stop you from your own continued growth, right? And that's the other thing. If we're talking about a relationship here, you don't want to continue to stay in situations where you're not allowed to continue to grow. But clearly here, there's some pain with this movement that happened, and this feeling now of like being stuck with it. Oh my God. Jeez. In your environment, the Tower. This is like, I'm stuck in this situation that is completely falling apart. But the thing is, again with the Tower, right? It's all the fake, false crap that needs to go away. For some of you, I have to wonder if your thoughts are telling you, I don't know how, because if I do, like, I don't know how to, course correct, because if I do, it's going to create this kind of like heartbreak and everything falling apart. Like I almost feel like I'm trapped with a situation because the minute that I free myself from it, then it's going to collapse. But it needs to, right? And then for others of you, you may feel like things are falling apart or there's these drastic like shifts that are happening, but you may be like still stuck in an old thought pattern that isn't showing you, you know, the star that comes out of this. But I can't help but look at this and go, yeah, it would make sense, right? Like I'm stuck. I can't really do anything right now because if I do, this house of cards is going to completely collapse. But the thing is you have to be, you know, honest with yourself about how you're feeling, because if you're feeling heartbreak over what you're dealing with right now, then maybe this does need to fall apart. And what's interesting is, you know, my question is how are you breaking free of this and moving into the Three of Pentacles? Well, why not the Tower, right? Because in that case, it's the universe, like, especially with Judgment being here. I mean, look at the majors coming down on this, kicking you in the ass, going, all right, Libra, keep playing around and we're going to force the situation, right? It may be painful in the short term, but that doesn't mean it has to be that way in the future. Oh my God, the depth. Your hopes and your fears, the Eight of Wands, you want to get through the shit quick, right? Like, you want to get through this quick. We need to quickly change course, change direction. This is being able to act with fast-moving energy. But, you know, as a hope, obviously, it's like, yeah, let's hurry up here. I need this to quickly be set into motion. But the fear there would be that as soon as, you know, things start moving, that, you know, everything is going to go in all different directions, which would make sense with, you know, the Chariot coming in from the past. But like, I get it, right? Like, quickly, we need to quickly go through this. And for some of you, this may absolutely be about, you know, you fearing your ability to quickly take advantage of another opportunity. Only because, you know, we're looking at you being stuck, but intentionally so that things don't completely fall apart. Wow, man. Oh. Coming out, the Queen of Swords. Ooh, somebody's in trouble. Oh. This is where you realize that the games can't continue anymore when it comes to other people. In definitely separation. For some of you, absolutely, this could be about needing to end a relationship. And that could be any relationship. Doesn't have to be romantic. This could be a business partnership, whatever the case may be. But here, I have shut off the amount of empathy that I used to have. And I have to be this way now in order for you to answer that call and to start putting your effort into something else or someone else, right? But this is, you know, emotional attachment with the warning that, you know, I can't keep playing games like this. Not mentally, not emotionally, it's not happening. Ooh. And if anybody does pop up in your future, you're making it very clear that, look, you know, this is what I've experienced. I'm looking to move forward from this. But I also want to make it known that never again will I be emotionally manipulated, or mentally for that matter, right? But this is needing to turn cold in order, you know, for this to either come to its conclusion where you're not, you know, trapped in these situations anymore, or, you know, for you to be able to see it for what it is and not allow it to stop you from finding growth in your own life, right? Oh, man. The Page of Cups. It started innocently enough. is immediately what I got. Okay. Oh. All right. I mean, look at all three of these, right? Like the Lovers and the Ace of Cups. You may be wanting to put your effort into a different type of a relationship. And for some of you, absolutely, right? This could be a romantic situation. But I cannot help but look at her and look at this and think, okay, I'm done allowing you to damage my emotional well-being. Like, you're not doing it anymore. You can't. But it started innocently enough with this Page of Cups, which got you to make this big move in your life with the Chariot. But the thing is I think that if we're talking about resurrection with Judgment, this may be some, pure emotions that you may have had that are now coming back to you too. But there's the communication that's happening here, which makes me think that, this is something that you clearly want, because with the Lovers, the choices that you're making in love, choosing what you love versus, what is tempting you. But this is, union within yourself, especially with the Chariot being there. So and again, you've got this Cancer Gemini energy showing up. But besides that, right, there's this communication of a choice that I think you're going to be able to make that is more true to how you feel, what you love, who you love. And then here you have the possibility for your cup to be refilled, right? It's beautiful, but it requires you to reach in and find that part of you, that Queen of Swords within, that isn't going to continue to be manipulated to stay in a situation that is hurting you, right? Oh. I almost feel like, for those of you who are feeling this way, like you made this really big move, now you feel stuck, but you're continuing to stay there because it means if you don't, everything falls apart. There's the heartbreak and the separation. With Judgment being the overall here, I think for you, there's finally this understanding of, I need to be more concerned about myself, my path, and not, how do I put this? It's not like you're intentionally trying to hurt somebody, but I don't think that you're dealing with somebody that sees it that way. And I have to wonder if some of you aren't dealing with somebody who does that kind of manipulation, like I need to keep you around. But you're hurting, right? But you don't want to continue to repeat that chain of events, which is where Judgment is coming in. I hope that made sense. But I see you needing to shut your emotions off to one situation and choosing another, and another that's on a much, much higher vibration than what you're currently dealing with, right? Intuition. New growth. Yep. And then rebirth. Wow, man. Yeah, with Judgment. So trusting your intuition, because it is leading you to new growth that will facilitate the rebirth of you, right? Cleansing waters, purification activates vibrant life force. I love that one, and I don't get to see it a lot. And then begin now. Take your first step. That may mean creating a tower moment, but I'm telling you, for those of you who are stuck in a situation that's causing you pain and heartbreak, right? Now's the time. right? And again, right, the Eight of Wands and the Tower, now is the time. Because your Ace of Cups is right there. It's right there. You know, and it's understandable that you would be moving into a place where you're starting to set more definite boundaries. But, you know, as far as judgment being there too, don't allow, you know, past situations to be projected onto something new, right? Because like I've always said, when it comes to the aces, it is a new beginning, but it's what you make of it, for better or for worse. You know, but we're talking about emotional fulfillment and happiness, right? What is going to make you feel whole and connected, especially within relationships, right? All right, Libra, thank you so much for being here, you guys. I hope that helped, and I hope to see you again soon.